Imagine standing at the edge of the ocean, watching the waves rise and fall. Do you question whether the next wave will come, or do you simply trust that it will? You don't worry about orchestrating the tides, for you understand instinctively that the ocean takes care of itself. The same is true of life. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, moves like the ocean, carrying you with its currents if you allow it. Trust is not a passive state, but an active engagement with life as it unfolds. It is a dynamic, living force that requires your full participation. Many people mistake trust for mere acceptance or resignation, as though it were a passive act of surrendering to whatever happens, whether they like it or not. But trust is far from this inert or powerless stance. To truly trust life, the universe, or the unfolding events around you is to engage with them actively, consciously, and with an open heart. It is a deliberate choice to step into the unknown with courage, curiosity, and a sense of wonder. Imagine for a moment that life is a dance. To trust is to join the dance fully, moving with the rhythm of the music, even when you cannot predict the next step. It does not mean standing still on the edge of the dance floor, hoping the music will guide you without effort. Nor does it mean resisting the movements, trying to dictate every beat and every turn. True trust lies in allowing yourself to be carried by the flow while remaining attentive to its patterns, its changes, and its unique demands. It is about being present in each moment, not passively waiting for life to happen, but actively participating in its unfolding. To trust in this way requires vulnerability. It means opening yourself to the possibility of disappointment, failure, or pain, knowing that these are not signs of life's betrayal, but integral parts of its intricate design. It is easy to trust when things go according to plan, when outcomes align with your desires, and when the path ahead is clear. But the real test of trust lies in those moments when the way is obscured, when plans crumble, and when uncertainty looms large. In such times, trust is the act of leaning into the unknown with faith, not blind faith, but faith grounded in the understanding that life often works in ways beyond our immediate comprehension. Active trust also involves letting go of the illusion of control. So often we cling to the belief that if we just try hard enough, plan meticulously, or worry sufficiently, we can control the outcomes of our lives. But control is a mirage. A false sense of security that distracts us from the truth. Life is unpredictable, and its beauty lies in its unpredictability. To trust is to relinquish this need for control, to recognize that while you cannot dictate the course of events, you can choose how you respond to them. It is an invitation to co-create with life rather than trying to dominate it. This engagement with life through trust also demands presence. To trust is to immerse yourself fully in the present moment, to be attuned to what is happening now rather than being consumed by regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. When you trust, you are not passively waiting for some distant assurance or guarantee. Instead, you are alive to the richness of what is here and now, finding meaning, opportunity, and growth in even the most challenging circumstances. Consider nature as a teacher of trust. A bird does not hesitate to take flight because it worries that the branch might not hold its weight or that the wind might falter mid-air. It trusts the branch, the wind, and its own wings without question. This is not blind faith, but an active engagement with its environment, an instinctive participation in the flow of life. Similarly, when you trust, you align yourself with the natural rhythms of the universe, participating in its unfolding with grace and confidence. Trust also invites you to let go of judgment, especially the tendency to label experiences as good or bad based solely on how they align with your immediate desires. What appears a setback may later reveal itself to be a necessary detour, a lesson, or an opportunity in disguise. When you engage actively with life, you begin to see these patterns, to appreciate the intricate web of cause and effect that weaves together every moment of your existence. Trust is not about naive optimism, but about seeing the bigger picture, recognizing that even the storms have their place in the cycle of growth. To trust in this way does not mean to ignore your role in shaping your life. It is not a call to inaction or complacency. On the contrary, it is an invitation to show up fully, to take inspired action, and to contribute to the flow of life with your unique talents, passions, and energy. Trusting the universe is not about sitting back and letting life happen to you. It is about dancing with life, responding to its cues with intention and authenticity. Finally, trust is deeply connected to self-awareness. To trust the universe, you must first trust yourself, your intuition, your resilience, your capacity to navigate whatever comes your way. This self-trust is not about believing you will always get it right or that you will avoid pain and difficulty. It is about knowing that you have the strength to adapt, to learn, and to grow through every experience. When you trust yourself in this way, you become an active participant in the unfolding of life, meeting each moment with openness and a willingness to engage fully. In essence, trust is a profound act of love for life, for its mystery, and for yourself as a part of its grand design. It is not a passive state, but an active engagement, a courageous choice to embrace the unknown with faith, curiosity, and a deep connection to the present moment. Trusting life is not about waiting for guarantees, it is about stepping into the dance and finding your rhythm, knowing that every step, every misstep, and every pause is part of the unfolding masterpiece. The universe operates in rhythms and patterns beyond human comprehension, yet these align with our deepest needs. This truth is both humbling and profound, inviting us to view life as an intricate web of interconnection and purpose. From the smallest particle to the vast expanse of galaxies, the universe moves with an order and flow that defies our ability to grasp it fully. And yet, within this immense mystery, there is a sense of coherence and natural alignment with what we, as living beings, truly require for growth, understanding, and fulfillment. Consider the cycles of nature. The sun rises and sets with precision, the seasons change in their time, and the tides respond faithfully to the moon's pull. These patterns are not arbitrary, they sustain life on Earth, providing the energy, nourishment, and balance that all living things depend upon. Plants grow and flourish under the warmth of the sun, animals migrate in response to seasonal cues, and even the human body is governed by the circadian rhythms of day and night. These are rhythms we do not control, yet they are perfectly attuned to our needs. They provide a foundation upon which life unfolds, reminding us that we are part of something vast and intelligent. This alignment becomes even more evident when we consider the subtler aspects of life, the ways in which events, encounters, and experiences often unfold in ways that challenge, inspire, or teach us precisely what we need at a given moment. How often have you faced a situation that seemed insurmountable, only to realize later that it was a turning point, a catalyst for growth or transformation? Or perhaps you've encountered a person, seemingly by chance, who played a pivotal role in your journey, offering guidance, connection, or insight that felt perfectly timed. These are not coincidences, they are reflections of the universe's deeper rhythms, weaving together the threads of existence in ways that nurture and support our evolution. It is tempting to dismiss such occurrences as random or insignificant, especially when viewed through the lens of a purely materialistic worldview. But to do so is to ignore the profound intelligence that underlies the universe. The patterns and rhythms of life are not mechanical or accidental, they are dynamic, responsive, and infused with meaning. They challenge us to step beyond the limitations of linear thinking, to embrace the idea that life unfolds in ways that serve a greater purpose, one that is not always immediately visible to us. Yet this alignment does not always feel comfortable or easy. The universe's rhythms are not designed to cater to our superficial desires or fleeting whims, they resonate with our deeper, often unspoken needs. These needs may include growth, healing, connection, or self-discovery, and meeting them often requires us to move through discomfort, uncertainty, or pain. For example, a difficult relationship may teach us about boundaries, compassion, or forgiveness. A career setback may redirect us toward a path that aligns more closely with our true calling. Even loss and grief, as painful as they are, can reveal the depth of our love and the resilience of our spirit. To recognize this alignment requires a shift in perspective. It asks us to move beyond the surface level of experience and to trust that there is an underlying order to life's unfolding, even when it appears chaotic or unfair. This trust is not blind or naive, it is a recognition of the patterns that have always been present, whether in the cycles of nature, the flow of time, or the intricate interplay of cause and effect. It is an invitation to see challenges not as obstacles but as opportunities, to view setbacks not as failures but as redirections. The universe's rhythms also remind us of the importance of balance and harmony. Just as the earth requires both day and night, summer and winter, we too need cycles of activity and rest, joy and sorrow, giving and receiving. When we resist these natural rhythms, when we try to hold on to pleasure without accepting pain, or to achieve without pausing for reflection, we disrupt the balance that sustains us. By aligning ourselves with the universe's patterns, we find a sense of flow and ease, a way of living that honors both our humanity and our connection to the larger whole. Science and spirituality both offer glimpses into this alignment, albeit through different lenses. Physics reveals the elegant mathematics of the cosmos, from the spirals of galaxies to the orbits of planets, while biology uncovers the intricate ecosystems that sustain life. Spiritual traditions, on the other hand, speak of divine order, karma, or the Tao, the unnameable way of the universe. Both perspectives point to the same truth that life is not random, but deeply interconnected and purposeful. This understanding does not require us to have all the answers or to unravel every mystery. It is enough to observe, to reflect, and to participate in the unfolding of life with openness and curiosity. When we do, we begin to notice the synchronicities, the moments of serendipity, and the ways in which life seems to conspire to guide us toward what we truly need. These moments remind us that we are not separate from the universe, but integral to its rhythms, a note in the symphony, a wave in the ocean. Ultimately, the universe's rhythms and patterns are an expression of its love and wisdom. They invite us to trust, to let go of the need to control, and to embrace the journey with all its twists and turns. They align not with what we think we want, but with what our souls require to grow, evolve, and awaken. To recognize this is to find peace in the midst of uncertainty, to see beauty in the midst of chaos, and to feel a profound sense of belonging in the grand dance of existence. What we perceive as misfortune often transforms into growth when seen from a broader perspective. Life is an intricate tapestry of experiences, woven with threads of joy and sorrow, success and failure, gain and loss. When hardship or misfortune strikes, our immediate response is often one of resistance, frustration, or despair. It's natural to feel this way, for our instinct is to avoid pain and seek comfort. However, as time passes and the rawness of the experience softens, we often find that the very challenges we sought to escape were instrumental in shaping us, teaching us, and leading us to places we might never have reached otherwise. Misfortune, by its nature, demands our attention. It forces us to confront realities we might have ignored and to navigate uncertainties we might have avoided. In doing so, it disrupts the status quo, breaking down the walls of complacency and calling us to adapt. At the time, this disruption can feel like a personal betrayal by life itself. Why me? Why now? Why this? These are the questions we ask, searching for meaning in what seems meaningless. But misfortune, when viewed through the narrow lens of the present moment, often obscures the broader picture. It is only with time and reflection that we begin to see how such experiences serve as catalysts for growth. Consider the simple metaphor of a seed. To grow, a seed must first be buried in the darkness of the soil. There it undergoes a transformation, breaking apart its outer shell to release the life within. To the seed, this process might feel like destruction, as though everything it once was is being stripped away. Yet it is precisely this destruction that allows the seed to sprout and rise toward the light. Similarly, misfortune often feels like a kind of burial, a descent into darkness where our sense of self-security or purpose is challenged. But within that darkness lies the potential for profound growth, if we are willing to embrace the process. Growth through misfortune often comes in unexpected forms. A failure might teach us resilience, showing us that we are stronger than we believed. A loss might deepen our empathy, allowing us to connect with others who suffer. A setback might redirect our path, guiding us toward opportunities we would never have considered. In each case, the initial pain of the experience is undeniable, but it is not without purpose. The lessons we learn, the strength we build, and the insights we gain often far outweigh the temporary discomfort. This transformation is not automatic, nor is it guaranteed. It requires a willingness to look beyond the immediate pain and to trust that there is a larger process at work. Many of life's greatest lessons are hidden within its most challenging moments, but they are not always easy to uncover. Growth demands introspection, patience, and the courage to face our fears, to sit with our discomfort, and to ask what the experience is trying to teach us. In this way, misfortune becomes a mirror, reflecting back to us aspects of ourselves that we might not have seen otherwise. Time plays a crucial role in shifting our perspective. In the midst of hardship, our view is often clouded by emotion, anger, sadness, fear, or frustration. It is only when we step back and allow the dust to settle that we can begin to see the situation more clearly. With time, the sharp edges of pain soften and patterns start to emerge. We begin to notice how the pieces fit together, how one event led to another, and how even the most difficult experiences contributed to our journey. This broader perspective allows us to reframe misfortune, seeing it not as a punishment or failure, but as a stepping stone on the path of growth. History is filled with stories of individuals who turned misfortune into triumph. Scientists who faced repeated failures in their experiments ultimately made groundbreaking discoveries. Artists who endured personal tragedies channeled their pain into works of profound beauty. Ordinary people who suffered great losses found ways to rebuild their lives, emerging stronger and more compassionate than before. These examples remind us that misfortune does not have to define us, rather, it can refine us, Ravi. It's shaping us into the people we are meant to become. Even in the absence of such grand transformations, the growth that comes from misfortune can be deeply personal and meaningful. It might manifest as a newfound appreciation for life's small joys, a deeper connection to loved ones, or a clearer sense of priorities. These subtle shifts are no less valuable than dramatic changes. They, too, are signs of growth. To see misfortune from a broader perspective requires a mindset of openness and trust. It is not about denying the reality of pain or pretending that everything happens for a reason. Instead, it is about acknowledging the pain while remaining open to the possibility of meaning and growth. It is about trusting that life, in its complexity, often works in ways that we cannot immediately understand. Ultimately, misfortune is not the enemy. It is a teacher, albeit one we may not have chosen. It challenges us to grow in ways we might never have considered, to stretch beyond our perceived limits, and to discover depths of strength and wisdom within ourselves. When we allow ourselves to see it this way, misfortune loses its power to diminish us. Instead, it becomes a part of the rich tapestry of our lives, woven into the story of who we are and who we are becoming. Growth, after all, is not about avoiding difficulty, it is about transforming it into something meaningful, something that aligns us more closely with our truest selves. The resistance to life's flow breeds suffering, while surrender invites harmony. This idea is both timeless and profound, touching on a truth that resonates across cultures, philosophies, and spiritual traditions. Life, in its essence, is a constant flow, a river that winds and twists, carrying us through moments of joy and challenge, light and shadow. When we resist this flow, when we attempt to control, force, or push against the natural course of events, we create unnecessary suffering. But when we surrender to life's rhythm, when we allow ourselves to move with its current rather than against it, we find a sense of peace and harmony that transcends the chaos of circumstance. Resistance arises from a deep-seated need to control. We have a tendency to cling to what is familiar, to hold tightly to our expectations, and to fear the unknown. When life deviates from the plans we have meticulously laid out, our instinct is often to resist. We struggle to regain control, to force outcomes that align with our desires, and to avoid the discomfort of uncertainty. This resistance manifests in countless ways: anger, frustration, worry, fear, and it pulls us out of alignment with the present moment. Instead of flowing with life, we become stuck in a futile battle against it, expending energy on fighting what simply is. This resistance not only fails to change the circumstances we face, but also amplifies our suffering. Imagine standing in the middle of a river, trying to stop the water from flowing downstream. The more you push against the current, the more forceful it feels, and the more exhausted you become. Life works in much the same way. When we resist its flow, we create tension and struggle, both within ourselves and in our interactions with the world around us. The effort to control what is uncontrollable leaves us drained, disconnected, and disheartened. Surrender, on the other hand, is not about giving up or resigning ourselves to defeat. It is about accepting the reality of the present moment and choosing to flow with it rather than against it. To surrender is to trust that life has its own intelligence, its own rhythm, and its own way of unfolding, one that often exceeds our limited understanding. This trust does not mean that we stop taking action or striving for what we value. Rather, it means that we approach life with openness, flexibility, and a willingness to adapt. Surrendering to life's flow invites harmony because it aligns us with the natural order of things. When we stop resisting, we free ourselves from the burden of unnecessary struggle and open ourselves to the opportunities, lessons, and beauty that each moment offers. Surrender allows us to move with life's current, adjusting to its twists and turns with grace and ease. Instead of fighting against the river, we learn to navigate it, finding our own rhythm within its flow. This harmony is not a passive state, it requires awareness, courage, and intention. Surrender asks us to release our attachment to outcomes, to let go of the belief that we must control every aspect of our lives. It asks us to trust that even in the face of uncertainty, life has a way of unfolding that serves our growth and well-being. This trust is not always easy, especially when we are faced with loss, failure, or adversity. Yet it is precisely in these moments that surrender becomes most powerful. Consider the storms of life, those periods of upheaval and change that test our resilience. When we resist these storms, we prolong our suffering, clinging to what was or lamenting what might have been. But when we surrender, we allow ourselves to be carried through the storm, trusting that it will pass and that its winds, though fierce, may clear the way for new beginnings. Surrender does not erase the pain of the storm, but it transforms our relationship to it. It allows us to find peace within the chaos and to emerge on the other side with a deeper sense of clarity and purpose. Surrender also deepens our connection to the present moment. Resistance keeps us trapped in the past or the future, dwelling on what we cannot change or worrying about what has yet to come. Surrender, by contrast, grounds us in the here and now, inviting us to experience life fully as it unfolds. In this state of presence, we discover the richness and depth of each moment, even those that are challenging or uncertain. We begin to see that life's flow is not something to be feared or controlled, but something to be embraced. The wisdom of surrender is echoed in nature. A tree does not resist the changing seasons. It sheds its leaves in autumn, stands bare in winter, and blossoms anew in spring. A river does not fight its path. It flows around obstacles, carving its way through the landscape with patience and persistence. These natural processes remind us that surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of alignment with life's inherent rhythms. Ultimately, surrender is an act of freedom. It frees us from the illusion of control, from the fear of uncertainty, and from the burden of resistance. It invites us to trust in the unfolding of life, to embrace its flow with openness and curiosity. When we surrender, we discover that harmony is not something we achieve by forcing or striving. It is something we allow by letting go. In this letting go, we find a profound sense of peace, a peace that comes not from escaping life's challenges, but from moving with them, trusting that each moment, no matter how difficult, is a part of the greater flow. Desire and fear cloud our ability to see what is already being offered. Life, in its essence, is abundant, constantly presenting opportunities, connections, and experiences that nourish our growth and fulfill our needs. Yet our ability to perceive this abundance is often obscured by the twin forces of desire and fear. These powerful emotions shape our perceptions, influencing how we interpret the world around us and dictating our responses to it. Desire pulls us toward imagined futures, enticing us with visions of what we believe we lack, while fear pushes us away from potential outcomes we dread, tethering us to a sense of insecurity and avoidance. Together, they create a veil that blinds us to the gifts of the present moment. Desire is inherently a projection of the mind, a longing for something outside ourselves that we believe will complete or improve us. It convinces us that happiness lies just beyond our current circumstances, in the acquisition of material possessions, the achievement of goals, or the approval of others. While desire can motivate and inspire, it also perpetuates a sense of insufficiency, making us feel as though we are incomplete as we are. In this state, we become so fixated on chasing what we want that we overlook what we already have. The present moment, with all its richness and complexity, fades into the background as our attention is consumed by the pursuit of an idealized future. Fear operates in a similarly deceptive manner, but from the opposite direction. Where desire draws us forward, fear holds us back. It roots us in a mindset of scarcity and danger, making us wary of risks, changes, or unknowns. Fear creates walls around us, narrowing our vision and limiting our ability to engage fully with life. It prompts us to cling to what feels safe and familiar, even at the cost of growth or exploration. Like desire, fear distorts our perception of reality, making us focus on potential threats rather than present opportunities. Together, desire and fear create a powerful dynamic that keeps us caught in a cycle of wanting and avoiding. This cycle blinds us to what life is already offering: moments of connection, opportunities for growth, and the simple beauty of existence itself. When we are consumed by desire, we overlook the ways in which life is already meeting our needs, endlessly striving for more rather than appreciating what is. When we are dominated by fear, we fail to see the support, resources, and resilience available to us, retreating into ourselves instead of stepping into the flow of life. The root of this blindness lies in the mind's tendency to project and attach. Desire and fear both arise from attachments, whether to specific outcomes, identities, or beliefs, and these attachments tether us to an imagined reality rather than allowing us to engage fully with the present. For example, a person driven by desire for success may overlook the joy and learning inherent in their current efforts, focusing instead on a distant goal. Similarly, someone paralyzed by fear of failure may avoid taking meaningful risks, missing out on opportunities that could enrich their life. This cycle of desire and fear is perpetuated by cultural and societal influences as well. We are often conditioned to believe that happiness and security lie in external achievements or possessions, reinforcing the idea that we must constantly strive for more while avoiding any form of loss or discomfort. These messages amplify the pull of desire and the grip of fear, making it even harder to recognize the abundance already present in our lives. Breaking free from this cycle requires a shift in perspective, a conscious effort to see through the illusions created by desire and fear and to attune ourselves to the present moment. This shift is not about suppressing these emotions, but about understanding their nature and their impact on our perception. Desire and fear, when acknowledged and observed, lose much of their power. They become signals rather than dictates, reminders of our humanity rather than forces that control us. When we step beyond the cloud of desire, we begin to notice the richness of what is already here. We see the relationships that sustain us, the opportunities for growth embedded in everyday challenges, and the beauty of life's simplest moments, a sunset, a kind word, or the feel of the wind on our skin. Similarly, when we move beyond fear, we discover a sense of trust in life's unfolding, recognizing that we are supported in ways we may not have noticed before. Fear, once examined, often reveals its own illusions, showing us that many of the threats we imagined were never as daunting as they seemed. This clarity allows us to engage with life more fully, appreciating the abundance that surrounds us and responding to it with openness and gratitude. It transforms our relationship with desire and fear, allowing us to use them as tools for growth rather than obstacles to clarity. Desire becomes a guide, pointing us toward what we value, while fear becomes a teacher, helping us navigate challenges with wisdom and courage. In this way, both emotions are integrated into the broader tapestry of our lives, rather than standing in opposition to our ability to perceive and receive what life offers. Ultimately, the practice of seeing through the clouds of desire and fear is about reclaiming our connection to the present moment. It is about recognizing that life is not something to be conquered or avoided, but something to be lived and experienced in its fullness. When we let go of the illusions these emotions create, we find that life has always been offering us exactly what we need, not in the form of fleeting pleasures or guaranteed security, but in the opportunities, connections, and lessons that support our deepest growth and fulfillment. To see this truth is to step into harmony with life itself, embracing its flow with clarity and trust. The universe is not separate from you trusting, it is trusting yourself. This statement reflects a profound truth about the interconnectedness of existence and our place within it. Often we view the universe as an external force, something vast and distant, shaping our lives from a position beyond our reach. This perspective can make the idea of trust seem like a leap of faith towards something unknown and alien. Yet when we begin to understand that we are not distinct from the universe but an inseparable part of its vast and intricate web, trust takes on a different meaning. Trusting the universe becomes an act of trusting our own essence, our instincts, and the inherent wisdom that resides within us. Everything in the universe is interconnected, from the swirling galaxies to the smallest particles. Life emerges not as a separate phenomenon, but as a seamless expression of the universe's creative energy. You are not merely in the universe, you are the universe, an expression of its ongoing process, as much a part of it as the stars, the rivers, and the winds. Your thoughts, actions, and experiences are extensions of this greater whole. The boundaries we perceive between ourselves and the world around us are constructs of the mind, practical for navigating daily life, but ultimately illusory when viewed through the lens of deeper truth. To trust the universe, therefore, is not to place faith in something outside yourself, It is to recognize and embrace your intrinsic connection to all that exists. This trust arises from understanding that the same intelligence and energy that move the planets and grow the trees also flow through you. You are a participant in this dynamic dance, not a spectator. The rhythms of the universe are mirrored in your heartbeat, your breath, and your thoughts. When you trust the universe, you are aligning with its flow, which is also your own. Fear and doubt often arise from a perceived separation between ourselves and the universe. We feel small and vulnerable in the face of its vastness, uncertain about whether it supports us or even notices us. This sense of isolation fosters a lack of trust, as though we must fend for ourselves against an indifferent cosmos. Yet this perception is a misunderstanding of our true nature. When we see the universe as separate, we fail to recognize that its essence is already within us. The same creative force that shaped the stars is what gives rise to our own creativity, intuition, and resilience. Trusting the universe is, at its core, a process of remembering this connection and allowing it to guide us. Trusting yourself is a natural extension of this realization. You carry within you the wisdom of the universe, expressed uniquely in your experiences, insights, and instincts. This wisdom is not always loud or obvious. It often speaks in quiet nudges, subtle feelings, or a deep sense of knowing. Yet it is always present, waiting for you to listen. Doubting the universe is, in many ways, doubting yourself, doubting your ability to navigate life's challenges, to make decisions aligned with your truth, and to grow through every experience. Trusting the universe is an affirmation that you already possess the tools you need because you are inherently connected to the source of all wisdom and creation. This trust is not about believing that life will always unfold exactly as you wish or that challenges will disappear. It is about knowing that whatever happens, you have the capacity to respond, adapt, and grow. The universe, in its vast complexity, is neither for nor against you, it simply is. But within its unfolding lies a profound intelligence that supports life in all its forms, including yours. When you trust this process, you begin to see that even the difficulties you face are not obstacles but opportunities for transformation. You recognize that every twist and turn in your journey is part of a larger story, one in which you play an essential role. Trusting the universe, and by extension, yourself, requires letting go of the illusion of control. Control is rooted in the belief that we can dictate the outcome of every situation, bending life to our will. While we can influence our circumstances and make choices, the ultimate flow of life is far beyond our grasp. Trust invites us to release this need for control and to embrace the uncertainty of life with openness and curiosity. It asks us to believe that we are capable of navigating the unknown, not because we have all the answers, but because we are intrinsically connected to the source of wisdom that guides all things. This trust also fosters a sense of freedom. When you stop trying to control every aspect of life and start trusting the flow, you free yourself from the weight of constant striving and worry. You begin to see life not as a series of problems to be solved, but as an unfolding adventure to be experienced. You realize that the universe is not working against you, but with you, co-creating a path that aligns with your growth and purpose. This realization allows you to approach life with a sense of wonder, gratitude, and confidence, knowing that you are supported in ways that may not always be visible, but are always present. To trust the universe is to trust that your journey, with all its twists and turns, is unfolding as it should. It is to trust that the challenges you face are shaping you into the person you are meant to become, just as the stars are shaped by the forces of gravity and time. It is to trust that you are not an isolated fragment of existence, but an integral part of a vast and beautiful whole. And above all, it is to trust yourself, to trust that within you lies the same boundless creativity, wisdom, and resilience that moves the universe itself. When you embrace this trust, you align with the flow of life, stepping into harmony with all that is, and discovering a profound sense of peace within your own being.